Good morning. I'm Savannah Hubdahl, Gloucester County's Public Communications Media Specialist. Thanks for joining us today. It's back to school season, which makes August the perfect time to highlight the work of our school coordinators. Gloucester County is one of the only places in Virginia that has a team of county employees spread throughout our public schools, providing services and partnerships that benefit our whole community. You've probably seen these heroes around if you have school-aged children, but you might not have known what their job entails. They do a million kinds of things, like organizing volunteers, facilitating after-school building use, assisting families with needs at home, and putting together enrichment opportunities like field trips. First, I'm going to take you to Achilles, where Coordinator Debbie Bone puts on a one-of-a-kind event every spring, Bay Days.
Because we are down in Guinea, we have what we call Bay Days. We get all types of people to come and talk about things that do with the water, the bees, the grasses, water safety, crabbing, fishing, pollution. It all happens. My name is Deborah Bone, Community Engagement Coordinator at Achilles Elementary School. I've been doing this, I think it's for 11 years now. There's a lot of families that actually live off the water. So we have a lot of kids, that's what their parents do. Years ago, there was a principal, Molly Broderson, came and she thought it up and I put it together. I do a lot of talking to people in the community. I tell them what we're going to do and they said, oh yeah, we would love to show the kids, and I make the arrangements and they come. I hope the kids learn about our bay, what we need to do, what we don't need to do to keep our water safe and clean, to help our environment and our families. I like at the end, the kids come up to me and they give me hugs, which that's my favorite part of the day, is getting the hugs and thanking me for all that I've done, and it's just fabulous. And then the people that are here doing it, they absolutely love it. And every year they ask, can we come back?
I had to stop myself from jumping up on that truck and using the oyster tongs. Everything looked so fun and the kids were having a blast. Bringing in presenters is one way to support school learning goals. Another, which you might not have thought of, is making sure that children in school have the tools they need to focus on learning. That means our team of coordinators is dedicated to making sure that school-aged children are fed to take that worry off their plates. Most of our schools have a snack pack or backpack program where students can bring home foods that are nutritious and simple to prepare. Here's Lauren Ginder to talk about the Panther Pack program at Abingdon Elementary School.
So we call them Panther Packs. Other schools will call them snack packs. And every school in the county has kind of different needs. Every coordinator doesn't run the program the exact same way. Some of them do, find support from local churches, but then others are part of the backpack program with the food bank. Our school chooses to have a connection with Abingdon Episcopal. They've been running the program here close to 20 years, and they are so gracious. They pack a lot of packs every week and bring them here. And then I work with Mrs. Brown's class to distribute them. But inside of the pack, Miss Michelle Pollock, she makes sure that there is a breakfast option, a lunch option, and then maybe kind of a dinner option. And it's just, we have been so grateful and so just amazed at the generosity that we're shown. We put out sort of an ask letter at the beginning of the year, and it's more geared towards quick food that your children can make on the weekends on their own, should they kind of need to. In years prior, the way that we've determined eligibility is based off of free and reduced numbers. Being that there was COVID going on, we weren't really, we didn't have that data. We weren't able to determine, who qualified for free or reduced. And so last year, the way that we did it was we worked together and we determined based off of other factors who may, be in need. Then we send the letter home and they can accept or deny. This year we wanted to open it up a little bit more just because we weren't sure that we were fully serving our school, and then we gave everybody paperwork. What we realized was that there was a greater need than we identified in the past. I actually sent one letter home that was for the initial, and I just had an overwhelming response. And a lot of us were kind of confused as far as maybe parents thought it was, something else. I thought maybe I miscommunicated to them. And so I typed up a second letter and I sent that home just to clarify kind of what that first letter was. And I still had an overwhelming response. So even after double clarifying what this was for, it's clear that this is a need. I'm just really grateful that I'm in a position to do this. I knew that I was going to need some help with distribution. So over summer, I was kind of problem solving in my brain, and it was a really awesome connection that Miss Brown was like, look, do you have anything that we can help with. We want to do community involvement, and she's our SPED inclusion teacher. The students in the classroom are actually from all different grade levels, so it's just a really fun marrying of different ages. It was a little bit chaotic at first, but now we've gotten the system down that's just, I mean, we're almost like, are we on a record? Like they ask every time, and it's really nice to have the students be involved in that process, because they kind of get like the organization of the clipboard, handling the cart, passing out. So it's a lot of great skills going on. It is very rewarding to see the students with their packs, but the major thing that we try to keep here, even though it's a large production, it looks like with all of us distributing them, is that discretion is our #1 objective. We never want the children to feel othered by the program, because naturally, other kids are like, what's that? What's in that bag? Why do you get that bag every week? And one teacher has told her students that they're part of a tasting club, and so they get food that goes home. It's all kind of a community effort here at the school to just maintain the dignity of our students. One of the church members said that she overheard somebody in the Aldi line because she was buying a bunch of food for the packs. The person who was checking her out was like, wow, why is all this food? And so she kind of explained what she was doing and what she's doing it for. And the woman behind her in line was like, oh, I love that program. We're in that program. She was like, I am so grateful for that program. She was like, I know that when I work on the weekends that my child is fed, that there's no question about it. It's consistent, it's every week. So just hearing kind of like testimonies that way is really, like, okay, this is doing what it needs to do. Anybody's situation, it's none of our business, but as long as they're here and they're fed, we can learn them, we can love them, but if they're not fed, nothing's, they're not going to be fully here. So it's important for students to come to school and know that they'll be able to eat.
Isn't that just so sweet? We also stopped by Abingdon Episcopal Church on one of the days they packed up food for children to see how it works over there. Here's what the organizer, Michelle Pollock, had to say.
The food bank is down in Hampton. I typically go to the food bank once or twice a week to see what we can get there, and what we don't get at the food bank, we purchase at Costco. We have about 10 volunteers, not always the same ones. We load food from the pantry out onto the tables, and then each table has about 10 items. So we always have some kind of a protein. Usually it's like peanut butter. We usually have a canned vegetable. We have a soup, mac and cheese, crackers. The individual packers will go through and fill the bags, tie them up, put them in bins, and haul them off to the school every Wednesday. When we go get food at the food bank, we're doing that really with the blessing of Bread for Life, which is the organization here in Gloucester. They allow us under their name to get the food at the food bank. There's limitations from the food bank's perspective on that, so we are grateful that they allow us to do that. Whatever the need is, that's where we want to be. What do you need? Let's be there to help them. We want them to be able to focus in school. We want these children to know that they have people who care about them. We put cards in each one of the packets that say, hey, Abingdon Church loves you. It's about the food. It's also about letting them know that they're supported, and for us as a community to be all part of one bigger community. Last year, someone made the comment that there are a lot of people who maybe will never walk through the doors of our church, but they think of our church as their church. So I want them to know that there's a Christian community out there that supports them and would invite them to be a part of it.
We're so grateful to Abingdon Episcopal and the other local churches and food bank programs that take care of our children like this. You're a huge part of what makes Gloucester special. Volunteering is one of the most direct ways you can pour love into your community. While that might look like packing up snack packs, there are a lot of volunteer opportunities at our schools. That's another way our coordinators help. They manage all of the scheduling needs for our robust school volunteer network. Valerie Lewis just retired this summer, but she was the senior coordinator over at Bethel Elementary School for years. She knows the volunteer game inside and out. Here's what she had to say about it before she left.
What does a school coordinator do? Pick a day. The main thing that people see most of the time is that I manage the volunteer program here. And our volunteers help us with everything from helping us cover a lunch duty during the day to running copies. Volunteers can do anything for our school, and they really kind of bring out the heart of a community. And I know that sounds a little cliche-ish, but our kids, while they know I love them, they know I'm paid to be here. But when they see volunteers come in, whether they're parents of their friends or other community members, they know that those people are here because they want to be here. And that speaks volumes to our kids. I have been doing my job for 35 years. I started at Achilles Elementary when I was hired back in, and I have also worked at Petsworth Elementary. I worked at T.C. Walker, and then I landed at Bethel. So I find resources for the school that round out experiences for kids. So I do that in very obvious ways. So if a grade level wants to go on a field trip, I find the destination that meets their educational objectives and do all of the scheduling, the coordination of those field trips for them. I find classroom speakers or enrichment programs to help in a unit of study. And most of the people that come in to help with those things are volunteers themselves. So that's really a huge umbrella, is volunteer management. I have volunteers who were babies when they were here at Bethel, and now they are volunteering and giving it back, paying it forward, and that has absolutely been the most rewarding part of my job. I love it. I'm so lucky to be in this position.
Thank you for that, Val. Gloucester just named a new senior coordinator a few weeks ago, Deborah Falkenberg, who had been over at Page Middle School. You might also know her as the color guard coach up at Gloucester High School. She sat down with me to talk about what school coordinators do for Gloucester County. Here's the August podcast. Hi, welcome to the Current Conversations podcast. I'm Savannah Hugdahl, a media specialist with the Community Engagement and Public Information Department. Today, I'm hosting with Deborah Falkenberg, who is the senior coordinator for our school coordinator team. So how are you doing, Deborah?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Let's start off with just some background about your job. How long have you been with CEPI, and how did you first discover this job?
So I started with CEPI back in 2017, but I actually moved here in 2015, and Valerie Lewis, our former senior coordinator, was the very first person I ever met in Gloucester. I went to register my son for kindergarten at Bethel, and she had me sign up as a volunteer, and I ended up being a weekly volunteer in the classroom at Bethel, and got to know Valerie and what she did and thought it was a really cool job. And when an opportunity became available for the part-time coordinator at Page Middle School, I applied and it all worked out and I've loved it.
That's awesome. So how long were you the coordinator at Page?
I was there for 6 years.
So you were in the new building the whole time then?
Yes.
Yes. Very exciting. Can you tell me a little bit about what a school coordinator does for people who might have seen y'all around but not know what the job entails?
Sure. So I like to explain it as a middleman between Gloucester County and the Gloucester County Public School System. We provide all kinds of resources for families, students, staff, and the community. Anything from study trips to outreach programs, guest speakers, volunteer management opportunities, full service school, communications like the school newsletters, social media, keeping people up to date. And we also can provide connections to resources in our community for any families that may need something they're not aware of.
That's really awesome job. It must feel nice to support people.
It is. It's very rewarding and challenging.
So I know that you guys are in the school buildings, but you're technically county employees. So can you tell me, is that something that's normal in Virginia? What's that like?
We are very unique in that we're one of the only school systems that has community engagement. I think it's great to be able to work in the school with all the school staff, but also being part of Gloucester County gives us just multiple connections and lots of networking to meet with different people. I think it kind of expands the opportunities and resources we're able to provide. So it's just a really good complement and partnership of working for both the county and with the school.
So does that, for example, allow you to take kids on a field trip to like the county buildings, or what do you mean by that partnership?
Just being able to easily communicate with parties from both the county and the school system, like community building use is where we let community organizations come into the schools after school hours to use our facilities for their activities. And without the partnership between the county and the school, we wouldn't be able to offer that to our organizations.
So it's really a community benefit too.
Yes.
You've said the full service school program a couple times. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so full service school is a therapeutic program that offers students roughly about an hour of therapy during the school day once a week, and also provides the whole family at least one family therapy session a month. So we provide them with a team that consists of school staff and community staff and the family and the student. And we just focus on reaching goals and helping them to build coping skills and work on things that can build success in the school year for them.
Okay, so like learning strategies, patient strategies, that kind of thing.
Right. And we, as a team, focus on their school goals, while the therapist may focus on more personal goals just within the family and the individual student therapy sessions.
That's a great resource available to people. Especially I feel like after COVID, more families might need something like that.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a huge rise in the amount of students who would benefit from the program. We are able to help roughly 5 to 6 families at each school. Even at the high school, even though we don't have a coordinator there, we still were able to expand the program there 2 years ago. And that program has looked a little bit different just because the kids are older, but it's nice because they get to take more ownership and decide how the program works for them. And it's tended to really gear them more to a pathway of like where they want to go after high school.
I know you told me about someone in the high school that you helped last year kind of look into one of their potential career goals. Can you tell that story?
Sure. So this particular student and I actually bonded over a similar interest in storm chasing. And
awesome.
This student just really likes all things weather and storms and meteorology and thinks that maybe they would like a career in that. So I was actually able to, with your help, Savannah, to connect him with the meteorologist team at Channel 13 News. And he has arranged a time to go with the team there to do a tour and kind of see the different options and opportunities in that career. And it's just kind of made him more excited and more motivated about working towards something.
I think that would have been a great thing to have experienced when I was in high school. So I'm so glad it's available to people. That's awesome. What can families reach out to you about? Like maybe they didn't know you were in the school doing this kind of thing and now they do. What should they think about Deborah, when they have this need?
They can reach out to us for all kinds of things, simply just to know what's going on in the school. All the coordinators send out newsletters and e-bulletins and keep up with social media about just events going on. Also volunteer opportunities, and then any resources they might need. If they need to take their child to get a vision test because they think they need glasses and they just don't know where to go, we could help provide them some contact information on where to go for that. If they need clothing assistance or food assistance, they can come to us for that. Also, if they're just interested and maybe they're new and they don't know about sports activities or things like that for their kids, they can reach out to us and we can help link them with the right people for that.
What is the most rewarding part of the job for you? Because I know it encompasses a lot of different things.
This job is very rewarding in general. It's very challenging, but probably full service school is the most rewarding because you literally see students and families come in that don't know where to go or what to do for help, and you guide them along the way. And it can be a long process. We see families in the program for 2 to 3 years, but seeing the outcome at the end and then being able to manage their situation on their own is really inspiring and rewarding at the end of the day.
I can only imagine how good it feels to see someone doing well and know that maybe you played a part in giving them tools for their life.
Absolutely.
So I know we've got a school coordinator job open right now. What kind of people might be a good fit to join the team?
Obviously, anyone who is interested in being involved with the community, someone who maybe has some volunteer experience themselves, because we do ask for a lot of volunteers. We have a lot of opportunities in the school for that. But also we're not necessarily looking for a background in a specific topic. All the coordinators bring something different to the table. We all have different backgrounds. Mine is hospitality. I know someone else worked in HR. We've had some in journalism, some in education. So having all different backgrounds has really been a benefit to our team, because we all bring a different experience and a different mindset to the table, and it all just collaborates really well together. But someone who's a go-getter, makes goals, and strives to reach for them, tries to motivate, doesn't mind being busy and having lots of things to do, multitasker, organizer, but someone who's definitely a team player, because we have the best team in the county and we're a great group to work with.
I can attest to that. This is the best team in the county. Just kidding. I love you all. But so what might a candidate look forward to in applying? If I get this job, I'm so excited to blank.
Probably just working with people. So also someone who enjoys working with people and being challenged yet rewarded in the end. The nice thing about the position that's open right now is it is part-time. And so there's quite a bit of flexibility in what your hours could be. So the position is at Page Middle School, which, like we said earlier, is where I worked for 6 years. And it is a great school with lots of energy. So it is middle school kids, which can sound intimidating, but it's a really great age group to work with. It's kind of a balance between, they're starting to mature, but they're not quite adults yet. So the content of middle school age can be really exciting. It can be very creative with the outreach programs you do, and anything from crafts and cooking all the way to career level type stuff. So it's a great staff, high energy, great office staff, be a great place to work.
Thank you so much for coming, Deborah. I think that was really interesting. I hope people, are more comfortable reaching out to you for advice on careers and advice on eyeglass exams and all the things that you guys do to keep the county running smoothly. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We've actually got that job filled. Hooray! But if you liked what you heard and you want to get involved, volunteering at your local school is a great way to get your foot in the door. We're pivoting a bit for this last segment, which is another one of Gloucester's school-adjacent services, the 4-H Club. The Virginia Cooperative Extension provides a wealth of agricultural, youth, and family services here in Gloucester. One of the things 4-H is most known for is summer camp, which we visited earlier this month. Here's Krista Gustafson to talk about the science, technology, engineering, and math camp they had at T.C. Walker.
This week we're doing our 4-H STEM camp, so 3 days from 1 to 4. We've done a cooking camp earlier in the summer, and then we've done a sewing camp. Today we started with an owl pellet dissection, which everyone thought was really gross, but they all had a great time doing it. So learn a little bit about data collection and how you can learn one thing from doing one owl pellet and something different when you collect all the data together. They're doing an escape room, sort of. It's a box, and so there's a bunch of clues. Some of them relate to things that we have done. So the first day we had Lieutenant Lever from the Sheriff's Department come out, and he flew drones with them, and they got a chance to practice practice flying drones inside. And then tomorrow we are doing DNA extraction from a strawberry. We do camps, but the 4-H year runs October 1 to September 30th. So the rest of the year we do in-school programs, mostly again science and STEM related, but we also do 4-H clubs. So we're constantly looking for volunteers who want to support clubs, and a club can start with 2 volunteers and 5 kids and any topic. So we have a horse club, a livestock club, a club that explores a little bit of everything, and then a clover bed group for ages 5 to 8. We advertise everything on our Facebook page, so that's always a good place to look. Usually are advertising the summer camps around May. The best part, I think, just having some fun, learning some new things, interacting with other kids during the summer.
She didn't say it on camera because she didn't want to ruin the surprise, but inside those locked boxes were s'mores ingredients, which the kids then got to make. That's a pretty good reward for solving some puzzles with math and science. If you want to be involved with any of the county's public school partnerships, reach out to the Community Engagement and Public Information Department. We're always happy to get you plugged in. Here's wishing everyone a great and productive school year. Take care, Gloucester.